What happens after a tragedy? After innocent blood has been spilled? After a family is broken? After hope seems buried in the ground? Most people think the story ends with Cain and Abel, but the Bible tells us something surprising. God did not end the story with death. Instead, he quietly began again, through a son named Seth. Welcome back to Bible Wisdom Collective Channel. Today, we're stepping into one of the most overlooked yet powerful stories in the book of Genesis, the story of Seth, the son born after loss, violence, and grief. This is not just a genealogy. It is a story about how God preserves hope, not through the loud, the powerful, or the violent, but through the quiet continuation of faith. The shadow after Abel's death. After Cain killed Abel, nothing was the same. Abel was righteous. Abel was accepted by God, and Abel was gone. Cain, the firstborn, became the first murderer. Though God spared his life, Cain was exiled, cut off from the presence of the Lord, wandering east of Eden. Adam and Eve had children before, but Abel was dead, and Cain was spiritually lost. The question hung in the air. Would God abandon humanity after its first great sin? The birth of Seth. A new beginning Genesis tells us something deeply human and deeply hopeful. Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth, saying, "God has granted me another offspring in place of Abel, since Cain killed him." Seth's name means appointed or placed, not chosen by human ambition, not born of rivalry, but given. Seth was not a replacement in value. He was a continuation of promise. Where Cain represented violence, Seth represented restoration. Why the line did not continue through Cain. Cain had children. Cain built a city. Cain's descendants created tools, music, and culture. But the Bible does something intentional. It does not trace the redemptive story through Cain. Why? Because progress without God is not the same as blessing. Cain's line grew outward. Seth's line grew upward, toward God. A quiet but crucial moment. After Seth had a son named Enosh, the Bible records a simple sentence. At that time, people began to call upon the name of the Lord. This is not dramatic. No miracles. No thunder. Yet it may be one of the most important moments in early human history. Humanity remembered God. In a violent world, Seth's family chose worship. While others built cities, Seth's line built altars. Seth's legacy. Faith passed down. Seth does not speak in the Bible. He performs no recorded miracles. He builds no ark. And yet, his legacy is immense. From Seth came Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, the man who walked with God, Methuselah, the longest living human, Lamech, and finally, Noah. Without Seth, there is no Noah. Without Noah, there is no preservation of humanity. Without this line, there is no Abraham, no David, no Messiah. Seth carried the story forward, simply by remaining faithful. The contrast, Cain versus Seth. Cain's story is loud. Seth's story is quiet. Cain's legacy is achievement. Seth's legacy is obedience. Cain built walls. Seth built worship. One line trusted human strength. The other trusted divine promise. And the Bible makes its message clear. God does not need noise to work. What Seth teaches us today. Seth reminds us of three timeless truths. 1. God can bring life after loss. Abel's death did not cancel God's plan. 2. Faithfulness matters more than fame. Seth is almost forgotten, but heaven remembers him. 3. Hope often begins quietly. The most important chapters often start without applause. If you feel unseen, If your obedience feels small, if your life seems ordinary, you may be closer to God's purpose than you think. From Seth to us. The Bible records Seth's name not because he was extraordinary, but because God is faithful. Seth proves that redemption does not rush. It waits. It grows. It passes from one faithful heart to another. And through that line, God eventually stepped into history himself. If this story spoke to you, if you're learning to see Scripture not as old names but living hope, please subscribe to Bible Wisdom Collective channel so we can continue exploring these quiet but powerful stories together. Leave a comment if you'd like the next episode to continue from Seth to Noah, or compare Cain's line and Seth's line side by side. Thank you for watching, and remember, God is still working, even in silence.